All right. This is the Cortez City Council regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023, and the time is 7:32 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. And then Linda, can we have the roll call?
Yazzie.
Here.
Kiefhofer.
Here.
Dobry.
Here.
Spruill.
Here.
DeHaven.
Here.
Rainey.
Here.
Medina.
Here. All right, we have a quorum tonight. So then I asked if there's approval of the agenda or any amendment needed. We have a motion for...
So moved.
I motion that council approve the agenda of May 9th, 2023.
Second.
Second.
Okay. All right, motion made by DeHaven and seconded by Yazzie to accept agenda as is.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Dobry.
Aye.
Kiefhofer.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, we're going to move on to number 2 on our agenda, the consent agenda. The listing on our consent agenda is a group of items to be acted on with a single motion and vote. This agenda is designated to expedite the handling of limited routine matters by City Council. Either the public or council member may request that an item may be removed from the consent agenda at this time prior to council's vote. After reading the consent agenda, I'll ask if a citizen or council member wishes to have any specific item removed from the consent agenda for discussion. A, approval of the council work session and agenda minutes of April 25th, 2023. B, approval of the expenditure list for May 9th, 2023. C, approval of a renewal application for a retail marijuana store license for Mountain Annie's LLC located at 310 East Main Street, Cortez. D, approval of a special events permit for the Cortez Celtic Fair to host an event on Saturday, June 24th, 2023 at Park DeVita, located at 400 North Mildred Road, Cortez. E, approval of a special event permit for Denkai Sanctuary Rescue to host a fundraiser/pet adoption event on May 20th, 2023 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. located on the street or in the street at South Elm Street from the alleyway to First Street in Cortez. F, approval of a renewal hotel and restaurant liquor license for Rosita Inc., DBA Tequilas, located at 1740 East Main Street, Cortez. G, approval of a renewal fermented malt beverage and wine liquor license for Paragon Business Investments, LLC, DBA Gopher Food and Fuel, located at 2410 Fairway Drive, Cortez. H, approval of a renewal arts liquor license for Community Radio Project, Inc., DBA KSJD, located at 28 East Main Street, Cortez. And I, approval of a renewal hotel and restaurant with one optional premise for Rodowski Golf LLC, DBA Conquistador Golf Course, located at 2018 North Dolores Road, Cortez. All right, you gonna approve it? Okay.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Second.
Motion made by Dobry and seconded by Rainey.
Dobry.
Aye.
Kiefhofer.
Aye.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, we're going to move on to number 3 on our agenda. Okay, public participation. There's no limit to the number of speakers, although public comment will be held to an overall time limit of 30 minutes. Do we have any public comment for anything not on our agenda? Okay. All right. Moving on to 4, presentations. All right, we have 2 proclamations tonight. Our first proclamation is for National Hospital Week for May 7th to the 13th, 2023. Proclamation, National Hospital Week, May 7th to the 13th, 2023. Whereas National Hospital Week is May 7th through the 13th, 2023, and will follow the theme, We Are Healthcare. And whereas individuals all across the country will be celebrating this time-honored event. And whereas This Cortez City Council and city staff hold our local healthcare workers in the highest regard. And whereas the hardworking people that compose our health system deserve universal recognition and appreciation for keeping our community healthy. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Rachel B. Medina, Mayor of Cortez, Colorado, do hereby proclaim May 7th through the 13th of 2023 to be Hospital Week in Cortez, Colorado, with the official theme, We Are Healthcare, and urge residents to express their appreciation for the people's facilities and technologies that make trustworthy, reliable health care possible in our community. Witness my hand on the 9th day of May 2023. All right. And especially thank you for all the hard work they've done over the last few years in an unprecedented pandemic, so thank you. All right, and then we have folks here from our hospital that we can share this with you, and then if council wants to get down for a picture. If that's okay?
Thank you all very much. This means a lot to us.
All right, 4B on our agenda is a proclamation for Historic Preservation Day on May 13th, 2023. Proclamation for Historic Preservation Day. Whereas May is National Historic Preservation Month, and whereas walking tours in Cortez historical buildings will be given during the day on Saturday, May 13th, featuring the former J.C. Penney's, Woolworth's, and Montgomery Ward buildings. And whereas these events are sponsored by the Cortez Historic Preservation Board, the Cultural Center, the Montezuma County Historical Society, and the Cortez Retail Enhancement Association. And whereas the City of Cortez recognizes the importance of keeping the history of Cortez and the surrounding area alive through education and cultural opportunities. Therefore, I, Rachel Medina, Mayor of the City of Cortez, proclaim May 13th, 2023 Historic Preservation Day, and do hereby urge the residents of this community to recognize and support the opportunities to learn more about the history of our community through various events held that day. Witness my hand this 9th day of May 2023. All right. We don't have anyone here from any of those boards, but we'll make sure to get this to them. Okay. Moving on to 5 on our agenda. 5A, 5 is public hearings, and so 5A is a new hotel and restaurant liquor license for Agave Azul Taqueria and Bar, LLC. Presented by Linda Smith, our city clerk.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight, we have a new application for a hotel and restaurant liquor license. It will be located at 44 West Main Street. Many of you will know that, notice that address was the former place of the Wiggling Pig. Our applicants are in the audience tonight. They will present their petitions, as well as Vern Knuckles from the Police Department who will give his report, which was also included in your packet for your review. We will swear in both of them before their testimony. The staff requests that you approve the hotel and restaurant liquor license, and the information on the bottom is real important that we state with the state statute on it when we make our motion, if that is council's choice to do. So first we'll begin with Vern, and if you will raise your right hand, Vern, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony that you will give before this council shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Council. Okay, I'm going to read this verbatim for the record. Dated April 10th, 2023, to Cortez City Council. Subject, report concerning an investigation for a hotel and restaurant liquor license to be granted to Agave Azil Taqueria and Bar LLC. The address is 44 West Main Street, Cortez, Colorado, 81321. I, Vernon Knuckles, has been duly appointed and directed by the Cortez City Council, Montezuma County, in the state of Colorado to investigate the above applicant and to state the official position of the Cortez Police Department. Do report the following. 1, contacted the City of Cortez Planning and Zoning Office and spoke to Rachel Marchbanks. Rachel indicated that the zoning regulations do allow a hotel and restaurant liquor license as a permitted use according to the Schedule of Land Use Code, Section 3.5A. 2, public notice was given by the posting of a proper sign on April 4th, 2023 on the property described in the application. A photo of the public notice is attached to this report. Required notice will be published in the Journal on April 26, 2023. 3, there is a business that has the same type of liquor license in the immediate area. 4, a poll of the surrounding neighborhoods and businesses within the neighborhood was taken to obtain an option on granting this liquor license as applied for by the applicant. All persons contacted were advised of the time and place of the public hearing and were asked, do you have an opinion on this liquor license being granted? The following are the results of that poll. A, 47 in favor of. B, 2 against. 5, the location complies with the Colorado Liquor Code rules and regulations. The location does not create any known public safety issues or endanger public health. 6, a copy of the report was delivered to the applicant on April 11th, 2023, signed by me, Vernon Knuckles, Chief of Police, Cortez Police Department. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we're going to hear from the applicant.
Okay.
Juan, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of law that the testimony that you will give before this council shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Juan Jimenez de la Cruz, and there's my partner Vidal Gutierrez and my wife Cristina Medina. We wanted to present with you guys, we're trying to do a little different than Mexican restaurants. You know, I own a Montezuma Mexican restaurant in Dolores. I've been doing this for 20 years, since I was 16. And we noticed that we need something a little, different than the Mexican restaurant where you can sit and wait a while for food. We noticed that my brother used to work with Victor. He used to own the taqueria here in Cortez, and he told me it was a good business, but they wanted to focus on a restaurant more. So they closed their taqueria. But my brother told me, it's a really good business if you keep on it, and because you get a lot of kids from school, it's a lot of offices around that they need food, like fast. So we're trying to focus on trying to serve fast, like Mexican food, but a little bit fast. We notice that people has like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes the most to have lunch. So that's what we focus on. And we wanted to have a liquor license because, a lot of people, especially, with Mexican food, they want a beer, they want a margarita, to say, so that's why we asking for, the permission to have liquor license at the location. Any questions?
Juan, could we have your petitions presented to the mayor?
We have our petitions. We went to the business around. We went door by door asking for petitions. They're right here. You guys wanted to?
Does he give us the copy? Okay. You can give it to Lydia and we'll pass it. Thank you, sir.
The petitions are also included in your packet as well. They're following the report from the chief.
Any questions?
I don't think so.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. All right, so then I'm going to open this to public comment. So all persons wishing to speak concerning this license must first be recognized by the chair. After you've been sworn in, please speak only at the podium and give your name and confirm that you are a resident or own a business in city limits. All right, do we have any citizens wishing to speak on behalf of this? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing portion and move on to council discussion. Does anyone have any questions, concerns? All right, then do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that after considering the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood, the desires of the adult inhabitants, the necessity of any restrictions on the license, the good character of the applicants, in compliance with all the provisions of Colorado Revised Statutes, Section 44-3-301, that council approve a new hotel and restaurant liquor license for Agave Azul Taqueria and Bar LLC located at 44 West Main Street, Cortez.
Second.
Motion made by Yazzie and seconded by DeHaven.
Rainey.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Kiefhoffer.
Aye.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Dobry.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, thank you. We look forward to trying your food. Okay, we're going to move on to, we're still in public hearing, so we're on 5B, ordinance number 1318, series 2023, presented by Rachel Marchbanks, our Community and Economic Development Director.
Greetings, Mayor and Council. Tonight is the second reading, as mentioned, and public hearing for the designation of a historical building to our state historical designation, or our local historical designation. And thank you for earlier reading the proclamation for the Historic Preservation Day on Saturday. So the Historic Preservation Board met on March 18th, 2023 to consider an application and merits of the structure of 20 to 30, the address, it's a big building, so 20 to 30 West Main Street, which applied for, to be listed on the City Register of Historic Places. It's the, as many of you may know it as the old JCPenney's building. It's also currently operating as the chamber. The Historic Preservation Board found that it met the criteria needed to meet that designation. It's at least 50 years old, and it had some historical and cultural significance.
Is this just for the Cortez historic list and not the state?
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry if I misstated. It's for the Cortez historic list.
Okay, great.
Can you remind me like what the criteria is for
Sure.
local?
Let's see, let me find that. So the criteria to meet our local historic designation is that it must be at least 50 years old, which the building was built in 1953, so it is. And then it also has to meet one or more of the criteria, which I'm going to mention. It has to have architectural criteria, such as a significant historic remodel, exhibits a pattern of grouping of elements representing at least one of these criteria. We didn't actually, it doesn't necessarily meet the architectural criteria. It was more of the cultural criteria, which is the next designation or the next requirement. And the criteria is it's a location where a historic event occurred that had an effect on local or regional history or the general development of society or cultural values. It exemplifies cultural, political, economic, or ethnic heritage in the development of the city or region, or is associated with a notable person or the work of a notable person or cultural group of people. The next criteria is geographic or environmental, which means it enhances the sense of identity of the city, and we also found that it did do that. Is an established and familiar natural setting or visual feature of the city, is geographically or regionally significant. And number 5, prehistoric and historic archaeological structures or sites, and it did not meet that criteria.
All right, do I need to open this for public hearing? Okay. All right, so I'll open this for public hearing, so if there's anyone who wishes to speak on behalf of this, please come to the podium. All right, seeing none, we'll close the public comment section and move to council discussion, or
Ready for
any questions or motion? Okay.
Madam Mayor, I move to approve on second and final reading ordinance number 1318, Series 2023, approving 20 through 30 West Main Street for historic designation and to include this property on the City Register of Historic Sites.
Second.
Motion made by Dobry and seconded by Rainey.
Kiefhoffer.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Dobry.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, moving on our agenda, number 6 is unfinished business. We have none. So 7 is new business. 7A is resolution number 11, series 2023. And this is about the housing needs assessment.
Greetings, Mayor and Council. As you heard earlier in our council workshop, the city has completed a housing needs assessment, or actually we contracted with Williford LLC to help us conduct a housing needs assessment. It was to help us understand our current housing conditions and provide data to inform solutions to the housing challenges that people in our community are facing. The assessment takes a comprehensive look at current housing conditions and the factors shaping the housing market. In addition, it provides a forecast of housing needs for the next 5 years and recommendations for the next steps. As we discussed a little bit in the workshop, our jobs and population have been increasing more quickly than the housing supply in Cortez, with a limited inventory of homes for sale and vacancy rate under 2% for rental housing. Competition is driving up housing prices. These rising prices result in less affordable housing to the local workforce. As home prices and rents appreciate beyond what local wage earners can afford, new and existing homes are being sold to higher income households both within and from outside the area. As local workers have fewer opportunities to purchase, the competition for rental units also increases, and rising rents are putting additional pressures on households whose incomes have not kept pace with the escalation of housing costs. Rising rents and few housing choices leave households signing leases for amounts above what they can afford. This creates a rent burden as households are forced to pay a greater percentage of their total income on housing, leaving less for other necessities. Another negative outcome of these price escalations is increasing employers' difficulty recruiting and retaining workers. Local employers face challenges recruiting and retaining employees because there are few unemployed people in Montezuma County looking for work. Employers seeking to recruit employees from outside Montezuma County compete with employers across the state in a competitive labor market. The local housing market is making recruitment even more challenging. The very low rental vacancy rate, and at the time the study was conducted, was 1.4%, and very few homes for sale, basically 2 months of inventory, and rising home prices mean that few homes are available to new employees. Many of those available are too costly given local wages, exacerbating employers' ability to find and keep employees. Without housing options that are affordable to workers, whether for sale or for rent, employers will continue to struggle, and this impacts the local economy. For this reason, increasing the supply and diversity of housing in Cortez is an important component of economic development in the city. This housing needs assessment, which is included in your packet, is a thorough examination of these issues and provides some detailed recommendations to address the housing shortages and gaps identified in this report. And I won't go over them in detail at this point, but the strategies include continue to improve land use regulations and incentives, increase the supply of housing, and there are some specifics regarding that, invest in partnerships, in public-private partnerships, partnerships with other nonprofits, help provide land, use land owned by local government or large employers to help catalyze new housing, invest in completing the infrastructure improvements so that stalled out subdivisions can be completed, preserve and reuse existing assets. They pointed out mobile homes are a major source of housing that is within reach of local households, for example, and attract new funding to the area, including, housing solutions are resource intensive. The City of Cortez should look at dedicating local funds to help catalyze some of the lower cost recommendations in this report, while aggressively pursuing new funding sources from state, federal, and philanthropic sources. Currently, what we're just asking you to do is to accept the housing needs assessment and establish it as guidance for our future housing needs in the city.
And for those in the audience and watching, I highly encourage you to watch our work session. I feel like that was a really good presentation, and we had a great discussion, just asking a lot of questions. And so I just want to put that out to the public that if you have any questions too after watching that, you can reach out to Rachel. But I feel like it was a pretty accurate view of the need we have and the gaps there are.
And, Rachel, if somebody in the community is looking to find the housing needs assessment, where will it be available?
We'll be posting it on our website, most likely under the Community and Economic Development link. We'll try to make it easy to find because it's, it's a big part of what we're working on in that department as far as land use code and addressing housing.
Did you have a question? All right,
I move that council, I move that council approve resolution number 11, series 2023, a resolution accepting the 2023 housing needs assessment and establishing it as the guidance for future housing needs in the city.
Second.
Motion made by DeHaven and seconded by Yazzie.
Dobry,
Aye.
Kiefhoffer,
Aye.
Spruill,
Aye.
Rainey,
Aye.
DeHaven,
Aye.
Yazzie,
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, we're going to move on to 7B on our agenda, ordinance number 1319, series 2023, presented by our contract city planner, Nancy Dawsall.
Good evening. This request is an application to vacate an undeveloped 16-foot alley located at 1511 East Main Street. It is the vacant parcel across from Safeway. It's just the first reading here tonight, so we're only asking for you to set the public hearing for May 23rd, at the end of this month. The application itself would allow, should the alley be vacated, would allow that the current proposed owners and proposed developers to consolidate that lot. There's 2 lots separated by the alley. It would allow them to consolidate it all into one. They would actually have to rededicate easements along the area of the alley, and then they would be able to essentially develop the property all as one. So at this point, we've provided you with quite a bit of information here. I don't think I want to go into any of it unless you have questions, but we're simply recommending that you approve on first reading ordinance number 1319 and set the public hearing for May 23rd, 2023. At that point, we'd also have in front of you an application for consolidation of the lots, rededication of easements, and a proposal for a car wash on the rest of the property. So you'll be able to see how it all works together on the 23rd, should you forward this on.
Okay, yeah, because I just have a question about process. So, because this is just the vacation, and then there'll be another one for the consolidation, and then another one for the site plan, or the site plan and consolidation will happen in one?
Actually, the vacation and consolidation will help it happen on one document, on one plat. And then the site plan would be a whole separate application.
Okay, and then I just want to make sure then that like the utility easements were addressed, because I saw those comments from agencies that they want to make sure that they can still access utilities where they need to and where they exist.
Right, and in fact, we'll actually end up with a slightly wider utility easement in that, where the alley is now.
Okay. Great. Any other questions or a motion on this?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve on first reading ordinance number 1319, an ordinance approving the alley right-of-way vacation on property located at 1511 East Main Street in the commercial highway zone as submitted by Quick and Clean CO-003 LLC, and set the ordinance for second reading and public hearing on May 23rd, 2023.
Second.
All right, motion made by Kiefhoffer and seconded by Sproul.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Dobry.
Aye.
Kiefhoffer.
Aye.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right. Moving on to 7C on our agenda, ordinance number 1320, Series 2023, presented by Patrick Coltman, our city attorney, and our judge, Beth Padilla.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. What you have before you is an ordinance on first reading to approve an amendment to the professional services contract for the municipal judge. For a little bit of background, as you know, you have 3 appointees that report directly to the council. 2 of us, including the city manager and myself, have an employment contract. The municipal judge works under a professional services contract, so she is not an employee. And the approval of any changes to her contract require an ordinance, because your predecessors many decades ago decided that was appropriate, and they put it in the charter. So the requirement is in the charter, and that is why you're seeing an ordinance rather than just voting on the contract. Judge Padilla, and she can certainly fill in more of this, but as I understand it, when she took over the job, I believe she may be working at the same rates as her predecessor. And so it was November 15th of 2021 when her original contract was adopted. She has submitted a letter to you that's in your packets that lays out her request, and based on that request, prepared an amendment to her contract that if you choose to approve the amendment, you will have to adopt the ordinance tonight on first reading and then at a public hearing in 2 weeks on second reading. And with that, unless there's any questions of me, I will turn it over to Judge Padilla.
Great. Good evening. I do have hard copies of the letter if any of you need it. No? Okay. I don't really have much additional information other than what's included in the letter. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have or clarify any points. So I'm just making myself available to council.
Madam Mayor, I move that council go into executive session for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiation, developing strategy for negotiations, and/or instructing negotiators pursuant to CRS Section 24-6-4024E, specifically regarding the proposed contract amendments proposed by the municipal judge.
Second.
Motion made by Dobry and seconded by Yazzie.
Kiefhoffer.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Dobry.
Aye.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, the time is now 8:29 PM, and the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were myself, Rachel Medina, Drew Sanders, Patrick Coleman, Matt Kiefhofer, Arlena Yazzie, Dennis Spruill, Lydia DeHaven, Robert Dobry, and David Rainey. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go in the executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meeting law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. Okay, we're gonna, oh, you're already up here. Okay. Hey, Beth. All right, so we see in your packet that you're, currently you're getting a salary, like a salary plus an hourly rate for anything that goes above that. And you're requesting just a base salary, one amendment now, and then another bump for 2024.
That's correct.
Well, I think you've been doing incredible things for our court, and we really appreciate, and we can see the change that you've made in the last year and a half, and I can't believe it's only been in a year and a half, and it's already been a year and a half.
Thank you.
You've been here a year and a half, is that correct?
Since November of 2021, so
And how many raises have you, or how many ups have you got since then?
0.
0. Cost of living's went up though, hasn't it?
I believe that is an accurate statement, yes.
Well, and as we understand, the rate that you kind of inherited was what the previous judge had been getting, and that they hadn't had a raise in several years.
I don't know when the prior judge had most recently negotiated his salary. I guess we could look at the history of the ordinances to see when it was last changed, but I have heard it was many years, but I was not here, so I'm not sure when that last change occurred.
I wanted to ask our city manager just to discuss the budget side of it for, at least for 2023.
Okay, for Mayor and Council, for 2023, there's adequate amount budgeted should this take effect the 1st of August as proposed. So we have enough in there that we could cover it based upon what's gone on in the court program, salary-wise. For the requested increase, 1 January 2024, which would be fiscal year 2024, we would need to budget that. That would require council authorization as part of the overall budget packet.
Do you have any idea how long it's been since a judge made more money?
You know, council member, I did not come prepared to give you that information, certainly not in my time frame. And since I've been here, I did hear anecdotally, and I want to be careful to say that it was anecdotally, that it had been some years prior to my arrival that had occurred. I don't have a good number for you, and I don't want to portray that I do.
I think what we would want to see is still know the hours that it takes to run our municipal court, even after your salary. Is that something that you could provide or track?
I could. I think that, of course, if you tell me to, I will. One concern that I have is the additional time that it takes to track. So lawyers bill in 6-minute increments. So I write down every 6 minutes what I do all day, every day. So yes, I could do that. And then I could send it to Ms. Odell, who could audit it. I think that takes a lot of time. And so there's certainly a pro and a con to doing it, but absolutely, if you think that that is appropriate, I can do that. Initially, because the structure is so strange that Mondays are salaried and then other days are sort of billable, I tried to calculate, 8 hours of work on Monday and then spread it out over the week, and it was a disaster to figure out what was billable on an hourly rate and what was a salary rate. And so the guidance I received was just do Mondays and non-Mondays, which honestly is a little cumbersome. For example, as I'm launching the outreach court, I may need to send an email on a Thursday, but then I feel guilty about sending an email on a Thursday because then that's billable work that then maybe I should wait until Monday to do. And there's this internal struggle of what days am I doing what work? And for example, over the weekend, I needed to convert Word documents to PDFs, and I needed to use my law firm software to do that, which I can't do here on a Monday, so I just didn't bill for it, I just did it. So there's this weird struggle of the salary versus billable component, but if you wanted me to keep track of just my time, I could do that and submit it to you in whatever fashion you want.
So we weren't thinking of like build like in an hourly billing way. We were thinking more of just to get an idea of the monthly hours that the judge is operating in the court.
Okay.
That was kind of the idea, just because I think that'll help council get a better idea going forward of the appropriateness of any salary or any salary changes, so.
Okay.
In the future, if you start having a lot more hours, we need to know that. And that's why we're asking. It doesn't have to be precise. Billable hours, how much time you worked with municipal court, ballpark, real close estimate would be great.
Okay. I can start to keep track of that.
Yeah. And Madam Mayor, I think the intent was that it not contain a description of the work that was done, just, on a monthly basis report, I spent 29 hours in June, period.
Okay.
Not, I did this and I did that, and not a description, but just a total hourly amount. Without, since you're not billing by the hour, it's just a figure so that the council can determine you're way underpaid or you're overpaid
Right.
the next time this subject comes up.
Sure. I understand.
I'll go ahead and make a motion. Okay. I move that council approve on first reading ordinance number 1320, series 2023, an ordinance approving an amendment to the professional services contract for municipal judge services, and to set the ordinance for second reading and public hearing on May 23rd, 2023.
Second.
A motion made by Yazzie and seconded by DeHaven.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Kiefhoffer. Spruill.
Aye.
Dobry.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, thank you for your services.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to number 8, draft resolutions have none. 9, a city attorney report. Pat?
No city attorney report.
Okay. City manager report?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. I've got a manager report this evening, several items. First of all, I just wanted to report in that I was able to attend the Colorado City and County Management Association Conference. It'll be 2 weeks ago now in Glenwood Springs. This, again, turned out to be a very rewarding experience, very educational, and a good networking opportunity. Also, I was honored to be asked to present a leadership training at that time that seemed to be very well received. It was a good opportunity and actually turned out to be a good icebreaker with other managers on the Front Range. Number 2, I just wanted to report in that the city has received the $1.8 million payment from Vero for the fiber lease. And as part of our contract, we have to put $200,000 of that into escrow, and that is being handled by the finance department. Number 3, the city council retreat was seemingly a success and was able to get an awful lot done, including updating council priorities for the city. Also, the meeting was held with DOLA. This has been about two weeks ago now. Discussion was had with actually the division director, Chantel Unfug, regarding the city's ability to apply for DOLA grants under our current audit condition. Due to our performance up till now and what we've got accomplished, as well as the buy-in from the state auditor and other state agencies, DOLA has now agreed to allow us to apply for those grants and even, be awarded as long, promised the money, I guess, would be the way to put it, once our audits are finally complete, then we can receive that, which is expected to be done in late fall. Also, just wanted to report in that the city will be installing a barrier this week at the south end of North Adams Street, which is off of Montezuma Avenue. It is actually a dead-end street to the east of City Market. Some data was prepared and captured there where it has become a significant safety hazard and we're needing to take action. As part of this, there will be some appropriate barriers go up in the near future, and then we're also communicating with affected property owners and the public at large. We're hoping that to have appropriate signage up there as well as barriers to avoid any accidents, but we are also allowing appropriate room for wheelchairs, bicycles, tricycles, and strollers. Also, I just need to report into council on a circumstance with the Parks and Recreation Department, and I'll just read to you what Director Creighton Wright has put out. He reports here that due to staff shortages, the rec center will not be open on Mother's Day, Sunday the 14th, and Saturdays, May 20th and 27th. They'll need to reduce their hours by closing at 7 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, May 18th and 19th, and then again on May 25 and 26th. They're hoping to be through their staffing shortages by early June. Intermittent adjustments may be necessary throughout the summer. Then, of course, contact Creighton Wrights, the Parks and Recreation Director, with any questions or concerns on that. They truly are having some staffing shortages and doing their best to minimize the impact on the community. So that's all I have, Mayor and Council, pending your questions.
Oh, all right. Okay, we'll move on to City Council Committee reports. A is the mayor's report in the workshop. So the first part of our workshop, we heard a presentation on the housing needs assessment update, which was extremely informative. And again, I encourage the public to go and watch that and read our housing needs assessment. Some quick things. 7.5% of our jobs are unfilled. That means that there are jobs out there and no one applying for them. Our top 5 employment industries pay less than the county average, and most people can't afford the houses that are for sale here. And the Housing Authority has a wait list of 300 people. Our total need of housing units by 2028 is between almost 300 to 500 units. So we would need to increase our development 3 to 4 times to meet this need. And rent here to be livable needs to be under $800 a month, and most rentals don't meet that need. So it's almost crisis level. So. And then we heard from the Colorado Department of Transportation about our intersection, South Broadway. So they're doing a traffic study, and that should be concluded soon, and then they'll have a report in the fall. And they're also talking about putting signage up there because speeding is an issue, the pedestrian and traffic interaction is an issue, safety is a huge concern, and I felt like that was a good presentation as well, so I encourage the public to go watch our workshop because I'm not good at summarizing. And then we'll move on to other board reports. We'll start with Lydia and
I have a brief report. I wasn't able to attend the Historic Preservation Board due to a conflict, but I did want to remind the community that Cortez Historic Preservation Day is Saturday the 13th, and there will be walking tours downtown, and it'd be a great time to come out and check out all of the historic preservation things going on in Cortez. Thanks.
Yes, I attended the Cortez Public Arts Committee meeting May the 1st. There was discussion of moving toward the Creative Arts District. We had 10 people present, and that was very promising. Also, the mural contracts were discussed, and that's about it.
Great, thank you, David. Dennis?
I met with the golf board last Wednesday, 7 in the morning, and everything's going great at the golf course. Monday play will be starting an hour late just for maintenance. So instead of starting at 7:30, it'll be 8:30 on Mondays. Also, I had the honor of serving on a board that presented a scholarship to a local student. The scholarship came from the Colorado Grande and the Colorado State Patrol, which they go through Cortez and stopped during their ride. And so they said Cortez could now have a $10,000 grant to give to a student. There were 16 applicants. I was utterly amazed at these students and what they have achieved and what they have done. And it was really hard picking a student that deserved it more than anybody else. It was almost a flip of a coin because we have some amazing students right here in Cortez, Dolores and Mancos, and they presented some outstanding resumes, and I want to congratulate the gal that did win, but I'm not sure if that's been released yet or not. Has it? Do we know? So I'm not going to release that, but, or guy, and, but it was fantastic.
Great, thank you, Dennis. All right, Matt? No? Okay. And then I attended the Mesa Verde Country Board meeting last night, and we are starting the process and hiring a new executive director. So look for that job announcement. All right, so then we'll move on. Other items, public participation. Do we have anyone wanting? Okay. Public participation. There's no limit to the number of speakers and no overall time limit. Speakers, though, have a time limit of 3 minutes per person and may only speak once and may not cede time to another commenter. All right, Leanne, good to see you. All right, make sure your mic is on. Say your name and address.
My name is Leanne Miller.
Yeah. Is it on? Make sure it's green.
It's green. Okay. My name is Leanne Milligan. I live at 17829 Road J, Cortez, Colorado. I just wanted to extend my gratitude and give accolades to the planning department for the city for helping Denkai create their first fundraising event. They're amazing. They're an amazing crew of people. And Rachel, you're obviously awesome as well. So if there's anything that, if you want to know anything or anything like that, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page kind of thing.
Yeah, so this is for the Denkai event?
Yeah, on the 20th.
Great. Actually, can I see that? I just want to read the details.
We're in the process of rebranding. We're working with the Ute Tribe and local law enforcement, the Sheriff's Office for animal rescues, things like that. So we are rebranding. We have $25 booths, and we're really trying to get local, the local small businesses involved in things like that. So
great. And animals will be able to be adopted as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so this is May 20th, 9 to 4. All right.
I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to make sure that your planning department was recognized because they're awesome.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, anyone else from the public for comment? Otherwise, we'll close this, and then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Dobry and seconded by Rainey.
DeHaven.
Aye.
Spruill.
Aye.
Dobry.
Aye.
Yazzie.
Aye.
Kiefhoffer.
Aye.
Rainey.
Aye.
Medina.
Aye. All right, thank you all for being here. And I want to recognize our department heads. I know that none of you are, you're rarely on the agenda, but we really appreciate seeing your faces and staying late, so thanks.